Okay, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. Today we have a very special guest on the show.
We don't really, we just have me, but that's fine. It is World Mental Health Awareness Week this week, so me and Barry are just going to have a quick chat about it
Yeah.
and tell you sort of our takes on it and what's important to do, because obviously with lockdown at the moment, it's a much harder time for people. We just want to, let people know it's okay to not be okay, and it's good to talk. What do you think, Barry?
Yeah, I agree. Like we've done a couple of shows this week and we brought it up with our guests. And like I talked to Ross after one of the shows being like, did that, asking about mental health, did that go down okay? And then Ross was like, hey, look, that's sort of like your thing. Not like your thing, but like that's something that you really care about. And like if it doesn't really affect other people, it wouldn't be as important maybe, or it doesn't really hit home really, if that came out correctly. But Ross also mentioned in one of the shows as well that we had Sir Steve O'Timothy on the show, and he's like a paraplegic and he's now doing a cycling 5K, and he can't even walk. So Ross was like, we should use our platform more often to speak out about things, not just about what UFC events on this weekend or what rugby event or what football game is going on. And I 100% agree, because our platform now is like, as we said to the two Johnnies who we just had on the show, like people want to hear like real talk, and the real people listen to this stuff and they want to hear, like, I mean, real stuff.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important to, talk about things that maybe sometimes are uncomfortable to talk about.
Yeah.
Also talk about things that, are, very prevalent in people our age as well, especially young males. Um, just to sort of give you an inkling into mental health, in 2018, 352 people took their own lives, and 282 of them, which is 80% of them, were males. So, like, suicide is such a prevalent thing in young males in Ireland. I mean, like, 282 people a year is a lot, and I think we both agree that it's 282 too many.
Yeah. And like one of the like when you look at just the numbers, sometimes it doesn't really hit home, but like I'm sure someone who's listening now, like they either are related to someone or they have a friend that either suffers with mental health issues or have like taken their own lives. This it is real. Like, it is real. And like hopefully someone who's listening to this show or watching this show is not one of them numbers.
No, hopefully not. And
Yeah.
we never want anyone who listens to the show to ever fall victim to suicide. We're not like therapists or whatever, and we're not, professionals, but like we are always here to talk if someone needs to talk. I mean, like, a lot of people have messaged us saying, "Oh, lockdown's really hard," and like your show's made a lot easier, and when we're putting out the podcast and daily, or we're doing a few a week, I mean, they're like, "Oh, you know, there's 20 to 50, however long many minutes the podcast is, that like it's really like brightened up their day." We love hearing that, and that's why we do the podcast. But
Yeah.
world mental health and your own mental health is far bigger than any podcast, and I think it's really important to take note of that. When you see, when Chris did his walk for PA the House and stuff like that, we really wanted to get behind it because it meant a lot to us.
Yeah. Well, like, for people that have been following us for ages or listen to our stuff, they'd be aware that we've been covering mental health and have covered it numerous times. Like, obviously, we don't do every show about it, but like it does play a part, yeah, in like a lot of what we do. And especially now, Ross, like, I mean, like, we're after being in lockdown for like 2 months, and like who knows what certain people are going through, like whether it be like, I remember the first week when we were in lockdown, I was literally like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, paranoid out of my head, didn't know what to do. Like, I was literally like, I'm going to get it and I'm going to give it to my whole family, and I'm going to end up killing them all. Like, that's what was going through my head. Fortunately, things have like calmed down, and like by doing the show and by going for like by doing exercise and going out, it's like kept me mentally stable. You know what I mean? Because like some like before, like I've like gone off the rails, and like for like a good year, like I just wasn't myself. I just changed as a person. I was just like I didn't know what the fuck was going on, and like obviously I was drinking too much, going out too much, but like it was all to get away from what was going on. And like before, I was on uh, tablets for depression, and it was just like at the beginning I was on such a massive high of I've said this before, but like then after a while it just became a placebo effect, and I was just sort of like what am I even doing taking these? And then like at the moment I'm not taking anything, but like I feel like doing this show is like almost therapy in a way. But I know like there is younger people listen to this, and they sort of they probably don't know what they sort of want in life, you know.
Yeah, well, I always think in every aspect of your life, there's always choices and choices you have to make. And there's always an easier option, and then sometimes there's a harder option. And sometimes it's easier to just go on the drink, have a few drinks, and
Yeah.
just forget about all your problems. But then your problems don't go away tomorrow. You know what I mean? Your problems are waiting around the corner for you to come around. And the harder option is to actually, face your problems and, actually discuss your problems with someone. And I think one of the hardest things to do is probably find that person you're comfortable talking to. And I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. And if you do have a problem, I always find for me what works best is if you actually find someone you're comfortable talking to, and then bring them to like a neutral venue, if that makes sense. Like go out for a walk and talk about there, because you know what I mean. You don't want to talk to someone in your space because then they're in your space, and you don't want to talk to someone in their space because you're in their space. But if you bring it to like a neutral ground, I find it's much easier to be open. And also, if you do go for a walk with someone, I feel like that sort of releases more positive endorphins, and then you're probably more open to like talk about how you feel.
Yeah, that's
That's just what
actually
I think is
no, no.
good.
Honestly, I think that's a great idea because like I remember I was battling depression for ages, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like this shite, and like I didn't want to tell anyone because like first of all, people be like he's weird or he's what's the story with him or we're not going near him, and then like you're afraid like your family won't really accept you or your friends will be like I hear
Mm.
don't be around lad, all this that and the other. But like even telling you like I remember like I think you were probably one of the first. And I was just, I didn't know, I told my family first and then I basically told you next. But like, I was just like, what if like he doesn't want to be my friend anymore? He doesn't want to do the show anymore. But then like, it was just, I don't know, it was just a good decision, you know?
Well, I do think like if people react negatively to you, they're probably not the people you should have in your life. You know what I mean? If someone actually cares enough about you, well, then they accept you for who you are,
Yeah.
and they accept you for your flaws. You know what I mean? So I think that is, quite prevalent and quite obvious. You know what I mean? Your friends are your friends. Your family's your family. You know, your friends and family should accept you for who you are. Um, I only saw it today. It was hours ago. I don't know when this is gonna go, what day, but Nigel Owens like to reveal that like people who don't know, he's like a really famous Welsh rugby referee, and he came out gay to his family. But before he did, like he overdosed on a load of painkillers and like drank a bottle of whiskey, and like he was going to kill himself with a shotgun, but then like he actually like passed out because he took so much drink and drugs and ended up in a coma. And at the end of the day, like acceptance sometimes isn't easy. Like, and it's not to do with like whether you're gay or not gay, but like just accepting your own flaws is hard. Accepting you're in the wrong at times can be hard. I mean, these are all things that like you struggle with on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, you can play such like mental mind games with yourself, and you can get yourself in such like a state over the small things. Like, I mean, sometimes like two people might say the same thing to you, and then you're like, they were talking about me, and that's why they both said that. You know what I mean? But they might never have talked about you. You know what I mean? But then like you're getting in your own head and you're getting paranoid, and then like you know, you can like let your self-worth drop, and you can, you know, get in your own head. But like I said earlier, you always have a choice. You can choose to make a situation better, or you can choose to ignore a situation, and it will probably make it worse.
Yeah.
So I always think you sort of have to make those choices, and those choices aren't always easy. Like I don't want people to think that I'm saying, "Oh, it's easy. You choose this way or that way." It's
No,
not one way
no,
or
man.
the
Like,
other.
man, like you're. I know we're talking to each other, but like I know other people are listening. But I mean, like you see me at my worst, and you see me at my best, and everything in
Mm.
between. But like you're sort of like you've been through it by going with it through with me, you know.
Mm.
So like
But I think we.
I'll tell you to stop
Mm,
if I think you're wrong, you know.
mm. But I also think we actually have had our best chats when we just go out for a walk together and like just
Yeah,
talk it out on a walk, because like it is a neutral venue. It is like sort of, you're also like, it's just you and that other person then. You know what I mean? You know, if you're in your own house or in someone else's house, you know what I mean? Like, you're afraid to like be vulnerable because like, someone else might walk in and be like, "What's wrong with that fella?" You know what I mean?
yeah.
And people struggle to be open. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I probably deal with something for about 2 weeks before I let you know what's going on with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're more open. You'll tell me almost straight away. And that's something that I work on myself. Been like, right, I have to like let my feelings go, because otherwise, because once you know what they say, like a problem shared is a problem halved, and I actually firmly believe in that. Like once I get a lot of things off my chest, I'm like, all right, grand, like relax now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've said all that, and like he can really let the little things build on top of you.
Yeah, like like I don't want this to come across in any way sort of like a sob story or anything, but like as I did say earlier, and you said it previously, like now that we have people like tuning in, like not all of them are going to be 100% fine, like you know, and like seeing like if like I know we're called Energized and we have the crack and we're known for having a bit of crack, like but like seeing that there is another side, that there is more to this, that it's not just like two characters, it's actually two actual humans, and that's what people really want to hear. They want to know exactly that, like, oh shit, maybe like he's sort of like me. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I think like when I did first admit it, like it was just like such a weight off my chest, and like I remember we put out a video years ago. I remember in my kitchen talking about it, and like I actually like took it down because I was so embarrassed about it. But like that was me a few years ago, and like I was like, oh, I'm over it now. But then like I went back even worse, and now I'm doing better. So like I didn't want to be like, this is how you get over it, because I
Mm.
went back into it. You know what I mean? But I think it's like a never ending thing. It's just like you just have to constantly stay on top of things. Also back then, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do and what passage or a route in life I sort of wanted to do as well. Like you
Mm.
know, and like that can be a huge problem because like when I was younger, like I just play sport all the time, like football, golf, tennis, squash, running, everything. Like I did so much. My life was just so routine that all of a sudden when I started turning like 16, 17, 18, when I started drinking and stuff, and I was like, oh shit, like there's more to just being active all the time. And then
Mm.
obviously started like meeting girls or going out in
You.
nightclubs and all. Yeah, getting rejected by girls in nightclubs. And by bouncers to get into nightclubs. But yeah, I think I sort of lost my way, and I was a bit like, I think like 25. I was working in banking for about 5 years, and I was like, I don't want to just keep doing this for the rest of my life. And then obviously we took a huge chance leaving work to try and get into the media industry, just working as anything, and then building ourselves up. And then like I think now over the last 2 months, things have really really come together. Like I mean,
Mm.
like if before this lockdown, Ross, if you look at what we were doing, compare what we're doing now, it's fucking chalk and cheese, man. Like,
Oh yeah, well it's us sitting in my living room talking shite to us like interviewing some of Ireland's top talent. You know what I mean?
and then even like, yeah,
Like if you told me what's called 3 months ago that we would have had like Jamie Heath, Sean O'Malley, Darren Conway, Ian Gary, Mikey Conlon,
two
John
Johnnies.
O'Carroll, the two Johnnies, Steve O'Timothy, all these guys on our podcast, like, and like consecutively, like rolling one after the other, I'd be like, what, did I win the lotto and they had to pay them all, or what's the story? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Ross,
uh,
when we started this, I always had that vision that we were going to get these people on. I knew it
oh,
was going to happen, but I didn't know how. I was like, how are we going to get them into your living room? But like,
yeah. So Lloyd, I was like, but how? Where's the studio? You know
yeah,
what I mean? And then like also seeing like Joe Rogan sign that 100 million a year deal, like, is also inspiring and stuff like that. So like for us,
yeah,
like that's like, here, look, like obviously we're not Joe Rogan. We probably never will be that big. You know what I mean? Like that's like phenomenal. Like that's the biggest in the world. You know what I mean? Like that's obviously the dream, but like in terms of realisticness, like he's also the commentator for UFC. Unless we become Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg going forward, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But like it's just saying that it's like there's such money in podcasting at the moment, and like we're like fighting our way forward to get there.
Yeah, like bring up the Joe Rogan thing. When I started listening to shows after that, like the foreign kid talking about it, the Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz, discussing it and going into detail, being like, Charlemagne, like our dream was to have a show on a radio station, no matter how big or small, earn like 30 grand a year, and then we'd be happy out. Like that was like, I was like, here, look, I'd be comfortably happy doing that for the rest of my life. That was the dream. And then all of a sudden, like, when we kept doing the shows and we were doing everything ourselves and no one gave us anything and no one even wanted to like let it, meet us for a coffee to like give us information to grow or this, that, and the other, like, it was sort of like, as downhearted as it was, I knew that like we still had something there, that because people did actually tune in. And then like when Charlemagne was discussing how like radio stations, they don't invest in talent. It's radio's almost become a jukebox. And then Andrew Schultz asked him, like, for the younger listeners, what's a jukebox? Jukebox is just basically like, it's just
It's
basically,
that it's that thing in Eddie Rockets where you put the 20 cent in and you can pick what song comes on.
yeah, like radio's just become that, and they've stopped investing in talent, like the likes of Howard Stearns or the like Charlemagne's probably the last uh, radio presenter that's of that ilk. And like now, because Joe Rogan's after transferring out to Spotify now Spotify is good, is the podcasts are a big deal now. Like, I mean, you don't make that move without no money's coming in the back end. And like, I
Yeah, but
mean,
radio stations, like, especially in Ireland, like, missed the boat a long time ago. Like, why did no one go, right, we'll give Rob Lipsett an hour set on Saturday where he can talk about health and fitness.
yeah,
We'll give, some makeup artist an hour on Friday night between 6 and 7, and she can talk about like what's the best makeup to be using at the moment. And then you sort of go on and go on. There's plenty of talented people in this country, but I think she's just like, right, Paul, I know you've been hosting from 4 to 6 for the last 20 years. Do you have any kids? Could they do it after you retire?
yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah. I think like now, no, like what we just have to do in the last couple of months, like it it's sort of like something like, now I don't care if I work in media because we have this show now, and like
Yeah.
stuff is going to come back. Rugby matches are going to return. MMA is already returned. Football is going to return. Life is still going to go on, and like we can just as easily do this, work a full-time job as well. And
Well, I
we
suppose
already have.
you do work in media, though.
Yeah, I know, but like,
No, but isn't like this is media. You know what I
I,
mean?
I know, yeah, but like I've been like basically working almost paycheck to paycheck to like try and chase this dream, and now it's just like we don't need that. Like, look at the guests we got on the show ourselves. Like, we don't need someone else to get them guests on the show, whereas I thought we previously did. But now we already have these people that will come on, and each and every one went perfectly. Like, I mean, I'm more than sure that over half of them will come on again. So like, I mean, we can just continue, like we can just focus on this and do our work on the other side, and then like we can just keep providing as much content as we want. I
Do you
like,
have, do you have, do you have a favorite guest?
like,
I know for you, like Ian Ballaghay was one of the best ones to get because you watched him for so many years.
yeah, it was. You see, there's a difference between like getting someone that's really hard, or you perceive as hard, and then also getting someone on who has an amazing story, or the crack you had with someone that was just brilliant. Like, I mean, for instance, like the crack we had with Dylan Moore, like I felt like we knew him for years, like the story that Owen Roddy told us, all the background stuff about the Conor McGregor stuff, the rise was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like even the one with, like I know Paul Curry was just on the show, and like he was talking about like how we deal with mental health and the injury that he suffered to retire from football. Like you're hearing all these amazing stories, and like these are I think this is something we're going to look back on when we get older, being like, can't believe we've had these interactions with these people, and so personal as well, because like it's not out having a pint, it's not out having a coffee where no one's looking at their phone. It's just so like just so solely focused on the conversation at hand, which is like is so.
And
It's
this
something
one
that's
thing that's
lost.
gone a bit obscure in our sort of generation of people, that like, you know, just an open flow conversation like doesn't happen as often as it should. And I
I
do
know.
think that's another thing that like you sort of want to touch on with mental health, is that like people spend so much time like on their phone, or like head buried in their phone, and like we're probably both guilty of it as anyone, you know what I mean? But it's one of those times where if you actually like leave your phone in a different room and like have a chat with someone for a while, you know what I mean? It's incredible, like, you know, the sort of serotonin that your brain releases from doing it.
And I think like obviously we don't want to go on too long because like we started talking about Joe Rogan there, but I think that was sort of inevitable. But that's like a huge thing that's after happening. That's made me like, because for a while, like when we were recording in your room onto a phone, and like we were like, what, where's this going, or like how do we take it to the next level? Like see like what we're after doing the last 2 months, then see Joe Rogan get that massive deal. It's like I feel like that's almost reassuring me that what we've been doing has been the right thing. You know what I mean? Like I never ever wanted to quit, like ever, because at the end of the day, we're always going to be mates and we're always going to talk about the sport. So we may as well put a mic in front of it. But I mean, it was just like I knew that something with podcast was going to be, it was going to get a seal of approval. You know, because like I remember Howard Stern, who I absolutely love, he like said podcasts were useless, like they were garbage, like, you know what I mean, sort of thing. Like he basically wrote them off, and now Joe Rogan's basically like this generation's Howard Stern. You know,
I'm surprised Howard Stern never just went, you know what, I was wrong, and then started doing podcasts. You know that?
it was because he signed a massive contract the same way Joe Rogan did, but also
Yeah,
people have to pay $30 a month to subscribe and listen, so he can't write that off. Like by
I
saying,
guess you.
yeah,
You probably have to pay you probably have to pay the radio company a fortune to get out of that deal.
yeah, because you can get Spotify for free or Apple iTunes for free, but like you have to pay for him physically. That's why it's not the same. And also like he sort of changed his style as he gotten older, and it's not as like crazy and wacky, you know. But things happen, people evolve, people change, you know what I mean. And the higher up you get, the more friendly you get with people, the less you can bash them. But like just over the last couple of months as well, I know this it could be a massively terrible time for people or a massively good time for people. Like I was really afraid of how long we were going to be stuck like this. Like for my own mental health, I was like, am I going to turn into a fucking hermit, like just freaking out, or like what? And then doing this has helped so much. And like I think it's like a great thing for people right now if they're watching this. Like I think you're best off like taking this time to really, really think what you actually want to do when things get back to normal, or whatever the next normal is, because now is the time to like start building the blocks. Like, I mean, look, myself and Ross, we're after getting people on. Like, I mean, I haven't drank in 2 months, and I went back training there the other day with Ross, and like I actually physically can't move. But like it was just I knew that was the right thing to do. Like say if you want to like start a podcast, start it now. Like people are available now to come on your shows. Like if you want to do cooking and stuff, start recording now. Like if you want to become a famous TikToker, start fucking dancing now. You know what I mean? Like now is the fucking time. Like right now, because like don't come out of this lockdown and everything situation and then be like, I'm going to start now.
Yeah, don't be reactive, be proactive. I think just to sort of wrap things up on the mental health side of things, because very energized going on a tangent. Look,
They know us. They know us. So
yeah, very just. But it's just one of those things. Do find your person who you can talk to, and sometimes it's not the person you think it's going to be. You know what I mean? It's not always, you know, your best mate or your mom or your dad. Sometimes like it's like just like a work colleague, or someone you know who maybe has gone through it before. You know what I mean? That they won't judge it. You know, find who your person is. Just talk to them and just keep talking. Keep sort of letting people know how you feel. Don't bottle up your feelings. I think that's a real thing that like sort of lads, men our age do. So try not to do it. Try be more open, and look after yourself. Take some time for a bit of self-care. If you enjoy going to the gym, working out, go to the gym and work out.
Or even
If
go for a
like,
walk, man.
yeah,
Even go,
go
like,
for
I swear to God,
a walk.
even go.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm saying, do what you enjoy to do. If you like going for a swim, go for a swim. I mean, if you like, watching a funny movie, make sure once a week you sit down and you watch a funny movie and you just laugh out loud. You know what I mean? Just take some time to look after yourself.
Yeah, you have to you have to do something different, because there is so many people out there who do care about you, and like I don't want to sound bad, but you'll be letting yourself down and them down if you do that in like too out of character, or like too, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna say selfish, because I don't want to be like being selfish, but it's just like you can change the situation. You can, like, you just like even sit down, write something down, be like, what would I like to do? What, like, would I like to go for this job? Or like, you know what I mean? Like I know we're just talking about podcasts, this, that, and the other, but like, if you want to say, if you wanted to be a butcher, or you wanted to be like start doing dancing or something, like, you know what I mean, just all these sort of avenues, like, write it down and go for it, because these days nobody gives a shit what you do. Like us putting out this video, like, I know what, like, at the beginning I got fucking emotional, man, and I was just like, don't even fucking start crying. But like, I was like, I don't care about this video going out now, because like, if people are going to be like, oh, look at him for doing that, this, that, and the other, like, I mean, who the fuck are they? Like, people that like actually care about what you do will support you and watch what you do, and the other people won't. And so it's handy enough, because no one's going to be sitting here watching this whole video being like, these two lads are bleeding wankers.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, don't be a hater, be a creator,
Yeah,
So,
too many people are too many busy. People are too busy at home anyway, doing their own shit, trying to do their own shit. So they're not going to
right,
even
Baz,
think about it.
give us a send off there.
If you watch this whole video, thanks a million. If you followed everything we've done recently and even longer, like, I mean, thanks a million, because like, we, as you can probably tell if you've been here a while, like, we're really kicking into a stride now. That like,
yeah, we're chasing 1,000 subscribers. We're on the way to get there.
yeah, but everything, we're just like as excited as I am for things to happen after this. Like, right now, we're doing exactly and I'm doing exactly what I really thought this show would be, having these amazing guests on, and like, I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know how, but like, unfortunately, it took a pandemic to do it. But like, we decided that, like, in the worst situation in the world, we took advantage of that situation in a good way. And like at the end of the day, all I ever want to do is like do a show my best, make people laugh, give out good information, and be like honest about it. And like, if you look back through everything we've done, I think it's so evident. And I think at the end of the day, we are really, really nice guys, and we do have like the best intentions at heart. So that's why good things have happened, because I think a lot of time I ran myself down for like better things not happening, but like, look what's after happening now. Like, yeah.
Good man, Basmo. Guys, thanks a million for watching. I hope you took something positive away from this, and maybe just say something nice to one of your friends or something like that. Brighten up their day. Be you, be happy, and as always, stay energized.